Thank you for joining our fourth annual workspace session on the gender gap, gender parity. I'd like to get some sense so that the folks at the forum can know where to go next. What you all think about priorities, what you all think about next steps. The point of today, the issue in terms of gender parity being so paramount and why we're all focused on it is because we really have a global skills gap. We have a huge talent shortage in so many places. And one of the problems is, take a corporation. Women join a corporation in equal numbers to men. 5 years later, they're down from 50% to 25%. 5 years after that, they're down to 10%. For a variety of reasons. But think about it, when 50% of your workforce is no longer present when you need people in managerial roles, then you wind up with a male-dominated hierarchy, which is a huge problem.
Who wants to start?
What the World Economic Forum is trying to do, and the Gender Parity Group, is develop a framework whereby we can coordinate and list best practices, things that are currently being done by companies, by governments, and by other types of organizations around the world, so that these can be shared, these can be customized to other situations, and really disseminated and built upon.
So if you want gender parity across your company, you probably have to look at certain geographies. And so if you don't measure that, you won't target it.
They need to set goals, measurable goals. If they operate in diverse geographies, the goals might have to reflect those geographies, and the frameworks might have to reflect.
So we're trying to make a world, right, in which women have as much or more education than men and decide to work and so on. But then we have to make marriage and motherhood compatible with these other things.
And daycare and all that is extremely important. I'm from Sweden, and we have all that in Sweden, but we still have a huge gender gap. Very few female chief executives. So it's necessary, but it's not enough. It's necessary, but it's not enough. And why could it work? Well, we struggle with this. I think attitudes are still a problem in Sweden.
The policies in the company are being made by people who reflect a diversity of views.
Well, of course, this is always a chicken and egg thing, isn't it? It has to be from the bottom up and up down.
The Ministry of Labour did issue an encouragement for the private sector to hire women. Young men used to come late. They had a monopoly on us. But once the women started showing up, it has improved substantially.
Is anybody doing all this? Are you doing all this?
Well, I was just going to comment that somebody who lives with the gap every day and who tries every day, who's made it part of the strategic framework of business with a company that is sort of like the fourth or fifth largest employer, private employer in the world. It has to be embedded into the business framework, into the philosophy, into the culture, and then all of this starts working.
It just makes business or political sense. I don't think there should be any ifs, buts, or whys, or questions, but we've got to do the analysis.
And we need the actual case studies that prove it.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Great point.
We found out when we were tracking is the reasons why they're leaving is a data that is quite useful to see why women are leaving.
If one of the companies present here that has a large data set of their human resources wants to collaborate with me and the Kennedy School in developing a technique to do these longitudinal gender-based analysis, it might shed light on them and become a best practice for others.
I think a compilation of best practices not so much focused within the company, but in terms of what companies are doing to impact positively the emerging market and to enable women to grow. I think this would be very useful information because it could be scaled up in many instances.
Look outside as well. Do activities which connect with this. Because if you're saying all this about yourself inside, and then your philanthropic, your engagement with communities is not around these issues, there's a mismatch. If the girls don't get the opportunities they need, then we're not going to have these people to employ in the future anyway.
My message is we want to build partnership, of course, with governments and build national capacity, but also with the corporate sector. So we will be very happy to build partnership with you. Thank you.
This is the point in time where this issue is going to rise very, very high on the agenda. Much will be accomplished, and many more people are coming on board and signing up and saying, yes, get me involved. And the more of those kinds of connections we make, the better we're going to be in terms of making very, very significant progress on the issue of empowerment of women, gender equality.